Okay, so today in this video, I'm going to talk about how to learn how to stand up for yourself and set boundaries, okay? Because this is something that I used to struggle with so much whenever I was younger. Like, so much. I would let people do me so insanely dirty and just didn't want to stand up for myself because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, or I didn't want people to leave my life. Like, I didn't want to set a boundary and for them to be like, okay, then like I'm not being your friend anymore. I didn't want to cause fights because fighting like still gives me so much anxiety. But in the past, like, I used to literally, like, that was my biggest fear, is to have fights with people. So I would just let people treat me like shit. But today I want to talk about how to learn how to set boundaries and learn how to stick up for yourself, because it's so important, and I'll talk about why it's so important soon. The first thing is that you are the blueprint for how everybody is going to treat you. The way you treat yourself and the way you show how you should be treated is the way everybody else is going to treat you. Nobody is going to treat you better than the way you treat yourself, okay? No one is gonna go out of their way to respect somebody who doesn't respect themselves. If you show people, like if somebody calls you a bitch, or if you've set a boundary before, or they just do something that's common sense not to do to someone, like talk shit about them, your friends hanging out without you all the time and not including you in anything, these are things that are common sense to not do. And if you let people do that, if you let people walk all over you, that is what they are going to continue to do. When you let shit slide all the time, you are literally telling people it's okay to treat me badly. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being treated like trash. When you have high standards for yourself and you treat yourself well, you take care of yourself, you take care of your hygiene, you treat yourself to things, you talk well about yourself, you talk highly about yourself, you don't call yourself stupid in front of people and stuff, you're not going to take disrespect from anybody else, because why would you allow people to treat you worse than the way you treat yourself? Why would you want someone in your life who can't give you more than you can already give yourself? And this will really only start to make sense after you start implementing these things, right? Because I used to let everything slide. Like, I had this one friend who would talk down about me, who would choose popular people over me, who would treat me like a third, fourth, fifth choice. Like, it was really bad. But I would let her do those things. So she was just like, if she was in a bad mood, she would take it out on me, because I was like the punching bag for her, like the safest option for her to talk shit about, you know? So you should be your biggest advocate always. The next thing is that the only people who are mad at the fact that you have boundaries are those who are mad that they can't control you anymore. They can't take advantage of you anymore, so that's why they're mad. Only the toxic bitches are going to be mad whenever you set a boundary. And whenever I get nervous about setting boundaries, I try to reframe it. Like, this is a great way to see who's real, right? This isn't me trying to hurt people's feelings, or me trying to be like, you're a bad person to somebody else and being like, oh, you made me feel bad, you're a piece of shit. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is tell people, like, this hurts my feelings, and see how they react. This is a great test. How will they react? Do they care more about their ego and their pride, or will they care more about making you feel happy and special and taken care of in a friendship or a relationship? And honestly, people have left my life because I stood up for myself. Like, the friends that have done me the most dirty are the ones who left after I told them that I didn't like something, right? Like, my recent friendship, one of my best friends, actually, I parted ways with her mainly because of the way that she reacted after I told her that I didn't like something that she did. She threw me under the bus for a guy that she liked, and she tried to be a pick-me, and I told her that I don't align with that and that I don't appreciate her doing that, and in the future I would appreciate if she didn't do that. And she got really mad and said that I was jealous and insecure and whatever, right? So that's a great lesson that I learned. Like, that was a friend that I considered a really good friend, but they're not really interested in, like, my happiness and, like, in making me feel important in this friendship. And like as you get older, you will learn like you really don't want conditional friendships, right? Because as you get older, you'll start to have kids, you'll get married, you'll have different problems in life, right? And you don't want friends who just want you when it's good for them, or who want you, like who want to be fake and stuff. As you get older, you don't have time for the fake shit. You have due dates for school, you have work, you have other stress, you have things. You want real good friends who want to make you feel special and want to make you feel heard, right? So this is a great time, especially if you're older, it's a great time, and when you're young, it's a really good time to get into the habit of just setting clear boundaries. And like this comes with age too, but I would genuinely rather have friends, like a small group of friends who I can trust, who I know that if I tell something to, they're not going to go off and tell everybody else. And I want friends who actually want to respect me, want to like respect my boundaries and see why boundaries are important. Like I don't want friends who are ego driven. The next thing is that everything is going to occur in baby steps. You are not going to be able to be the perfect advocate whenever you start sticking up for yourself. Mine were definitely baby steps. Like sometimes I would advocate. Sometimes it's harder to advocate for yourself than for somebody else. So I work with children, right? And that's kind of where I got my start. I started advocating for children. So if I was like seeing a coworker, I've had really bad coworkers in the past whenever I worked with kids, and they didn't really care about the kids. They just wanted a quick, easy job to either get like a citizenship or something like that. And I saw them being bad to children, or like being mean, or not knowing what they're doing. And I'm like, you know what? Like, this is not what this is about. Like, if like there was a lady that, her and the kid would get into a fight, like she was like, I'm gonna come after you, I'm gonna get mad at you, and she started like trying to prove her point against this kid. And I'm like, this isn't about your ego. And I was like, I started advocating for the kids, and I didn't always advocate for myself at that time, but learning how to advocate for yourself through advocating for people can be really helpful. Like whenever I noticed that somebody was being a bad youth care worker, and I don't like saying like someone's bad at their job, but they were like genuinely like shitty at their job, and I was like, look, like this is not the way you handle things, and I think you know that. Like this is clearly not appropriate behavior whenever it comes to children. And I was just advocating for these children all the time. So whenever you learn how to stick up for others, you start realizing like, if I'm willing to do this for others, why am I not willing to do this for myself? And a lot of the time it's the confrontation that's scary too. So whenever you start confronting people about other things for other people, then you start learning how to handle like the emotions that come up whenever you argue with people or confront people. And obviously the first time that you advocate for yourself, it's not going to be perfect. Like sometimes you're going to laugh, or you're going to take it as a joke and make it seem like it's a joke and whatever. That's okay. Don't be hard on yourself and be like, why did I do that? Why did I fuck up? Like, why did I start crying whenever I was like advocating for myself? Whenever I was setting a boundary, why did I start crying? It's okay. It'll come with time. Like, don't freak out. If you cry while sticking up for yourself, sensitive gangster baddies do that. So don't you worry. And like the main thing is also to really find out what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, right? Because I've seen people who like wanted to start sticking up for themselves, and everything becomes a problem. Like they pick fights about every single thing, and they also start being like, how dare you, who do you think you are to mess with me? And they start building like an ego instead of like trying to like but like trying to tell people. Like some people really don't know that something's crossing your boundaries. Like a certain joke could have gone too far and they really didn't know, and then somebody will be like, how dare you, and they become really confrontational, like really like combative. And I would say like learn what is truly against your boundaries and what is just you trying to protect ego, right? Like some things truly are just a joke. Like some things are really not that serious. So it's important to like figure out what truly are your boundaries. Now the next thing is reframing self-advocacy and standing up for yourself, right? Because I feel like a lot of the time we think that if we stand up for yourself, or we advocate for ourselves, or we stick up for ourselves or whatever, we feel like we're being mean to people. We feel like we're being combative, and we're being, you know, like like we're hurting people's feelings whenever we stick up for ourselves. Like if somebody told a joke and went too far, like if they said that you were an idiot and that actually did hurt your feelings, and you were like, oh, I actually don't appreciate being told that, like we fear that people are going to feel bad about the joke that they said and whatever. But the thing is that if this is a friendship that you actually like, and that you actually like if you feel like you're gonna hurt that person's feelings and that matters to you, then you probably care about this person and this relationship, right? Or this friendship. Now, if you care about this friendship and this relationship, it's really important to set boundaries now so you don't build resentment later, right? Because I've had friendships where I didn't tell someone that I didn't like what they were doing, and they kept doing it, and I was just too scared to tell them. And this built resentment. This ruined a friendship because I couldn't tell them. This was a long time ago. But now whenever I notice something off or that I don't like something that they're doing, I tell them immediately, because I don't want to risk losing that friendship over me not communicating. I would rather lose a friendship over me communicating boundaries than losing a friendship for me not communicating and building resentment and blowing up and getting mad. And another thing is that you wouldn't want to hurt people's feelings, right? Like your friends, your family, whatever, your peers, you wouldn't want to intentionally hurt someone's feelings. So if somebody was feeling a certain way, or you were hurting people's feelings constantly, and you thought you guys were both having fun, and every single time you guys hung out and you told them a joke or something, or you said something, you didn't think it was crossing the line, but every single time they left hearing that joke, they felt bad, you would want to know, right? Like you wouldn't want to be hurting people's feelings. So why do you allow people to hurt yours? And say that they are intentionally hurting your feelings, right? That's a really good time to bring up and be like, and sometimes it's not worth bringing it up. Sometimes it's just worth the block button or just the hand to the face and never talking to them again. But sometimes it is worth just being like, fuck's your problem? And another thing is that you're not responsible for people's emotions, right? You're not responsible for people's feelings and whatever. You're only responsible for your own. Now, obviously, if you're saying something to hurt someone's feelings, then yeah, you're responsible for them. But if you're saying something respectfully and you're just like, hey, like, I love you as a friend and I really appreciate this friendship, this is why I'm bringing this up, and I really don't appreciate, or this really hurts my feelings whenever you say da 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 da, or like I've had instances where people took these jokes too far. Now anything along those lines just kind of don't resonate with me. Could we like just not touch that subject anymore? And you say it respectfully and they get pissy, or they start like gossiping about you, or they get really mad, or they're like, I'm not being your friend, or they start being distant. That's on them. You did your part. All you can do is control the way you feel and control your actions. You can't control the way they feel. Boundaries are necessary for everything, right? Like in sports, you have penalties, you have rules, you have guidelines to make sure no one gets hurt. It's the same things for people, friends, relationships, everything. School, teachers, everything. It's just you have boundaries to make sure that you feel safe and happy the entire time, and so does everyone else. So some people don't know your boundaries, and it's really, really important that you communicate them. And obviously, you're gonna communicate some boundaries and people are gonna leave, and that's okay. Don't take it personally. It is what it is. If people get pissy about a boundary, they never cared about you in the first place. Sucks to know that. They just cared about themselves, and that sucks, but it's true. Like, some people are ego driven and weird, and if you say like, I don't like that you did this, or whatever. And another thing, like, having boundaries makes you look more respectable, right? Like, if you tell people like, I don't condone bullying, I don't condone racism, I don't condone like XYZ, and someone does it and you don't stand up and you don't talk about it and you don't stick up for yourself or somebody else, that makes you look fake. That makes you look like either like you're not confident or you don't care about yourself and whatever. It just doesn't look right. So it's really important to set those boundaries, because you do matter. You deserve to feel happy and special, and like you matter in a friendship or a relationship or whatever context. And the first time you stick up for yourself, you might not make eye contact, you might look around, you might be playing with your fingers, your hands, you might say you might do a lot of things that don't seem confident naturally, but the fact that you're putting yourself out there and trying to stick up for yourself means a lot. That means that you do care. You do want to better yourself. You do want to stick up for yourself, and you are trying. So don't be too hard on yourself. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah. Hope this helps you. Your life will get better when you start sticking up for yourself. I promise. People will respect you more. The fakes will leave, which is what we all want. But yeah, I'll see you later.